There's a rule that people who work in old train stations know very well. Never take the last train, especially if it's empty. But Samer didn't know that rule, and if he did, he probably would have never stepped onto that train. It was almost midnight. The train station was nearly deserted. Dim yellow lights flickered above the empty platform. Samer had just finished a long shift at work. This was the last train before the line closed for the night. When the train arrived, the doors opened slowly. No one stepped out, and there were no passengers inside. Samer hesitated for a moment, then he shrugged. Better than waiting an hour. And he stepped in. The train began to move. The carriage was completely empty. Samer sat near the window as the train rolled into the darkness. The lights flickered slightly, and the metal wheels screeched softly against the rails. After a few minutes, he noticed something strange, a faint breathing sound. He looked up. No one. Maybe it was the engine, he thought. But then the breathing came again. This time, closer. Then he heard it clearly. Footsteps. Step. Step. As if someone was walking in the next carriage. When the train passed a small platform light, Samer leaned toward the glass door and looked. The next carriage was completely empty. He slowly sat back down, but the footsteps didn't stop. They grew louder, closer. Step, step, until they stopped, right behind his seat. Samer froze. He didn't dare turn around, but in front of him, the train window reflected part of the carriage behind him. Slowly, he lifted his eyes. At first, nothing. Then, a shadow appeared, a tall figure standing directly behind him. Samer quickly turned around. Nothing. The carriage was still empty, completely empty. A few minutes later, the train speaker crackled, "Next stop, final station." But Samer knew this train line. This wasn't the last station. The train slowed down. Outside the window was a platform. An old sign hung there. A station name Samer had never heard before. The station was abandoned. No lights, no people. Only the train illuminating the darkness. Suddenly, the carriage door slid open, and a man walked in. He was unusually tall, wearing a long black coat. His face was pale, almost lifeless. He sat directly across from Samer and stared at him without blinking. Then he spoke in a cold voice. "You boarded the wrong train." Samer swallowed nervously. "What do you mean?" The man slowly smiled. "This train only takes passengers one way." The train started moving again, but this time there was no engine sound, no sound of rails, just silence. Samer looked out the window. The city was gone. No lights, no buildings, only endless darkness. When he looked back at the man, the seat was empty. But on the window in front of him, words slowly appeared in the fog. Next stop, no return. And for years now, railway workers have reported something strange. On certain nights, an old train passes along the tracks. But the problem is, that train disappeared 50 years ago.